Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing today? Just dropped off Lynn at work, and it is about time we do another video here. Today I want to talk about you have to leave everything behind. You have to burn your passport. You are never going to be allowed to leave the Philippines again. Let's talk about the effect that might have on you and your family. You know, guys, we often hear from expats that they don't want to have anything to do with their native country anymore. They've had enough and they want to move. And they're going to move to the Philippines. Now, for a lot of guys, that means also starting a family. And you've lived your whole life with that freedom from your typically Western country to be able to go here, there, and everywhere whenever you really want, and almost anywhere in the world that you want. Even in some of those restricted countries, you could still go with a little bit of work and get a visa and just go. You know, I'm always talking about going to the Philippines and just go. So if you're thinking of having kids, if you ask anybody what I think of kids, first off, if you've got kids, they are the only important thing in the world. You have a responsibility 100% to those kids. Not enough just to hug them. Sorry, guys. Not on this planet anymore. It's not a good enough, much more better English. It's not good enough just to hug them, and that's good enough. It's not good enough just to supply them an education in the Philippines. That's not good enough, guys. What is minimum good enough? Minimum is get their passport as soon as they are born and keep updating that darn passport, even if you cannot afford to leave the Philippines anymore. In other words, you're going to have a major health issue and you don't leave. You are going to have to suck it up and stay in the Philippines. But do not take away that right that we have all hammered our fists on the ground for, the freedom to be able to go to another country. Do not take that away from your children. It's one thing to turn around and say to your wife, I don't want to ever go back again, sweetie. I'm not going back. And that's okay. That is okay. But it's not good enough when it comes to your children. You have to leave them an avenue to be free to do what they might want to do. Okay? I've often said, even with education, that you have an obligation to take them back to your Western country and get some of that basic education. Now, that may not be in the cards for you. It may not. It may not be good enough for you to live in your country for 10 months of the year and then go home, or back to the Philippines, home, in this off season, the summer holidays as we would call them. But you must get their passport at minimum, guys. Minimum. You've got to allow your children to have that freedom. In my opinion, you are 100% negligent if you don't do it, because when you were in your native country, you fought for things, you fought for freedoms, you fought for all that. Your grandparents at least fought for them, your parents at least fought for them. Do not take that away from your children. Just because you see a very happy country, just because you see farm children running around, they're happy with their situation, that's okay. They were born into it. But you are going to imprint some of your Western culture onto your children. You've got to give them the freedom to go off to your native country when they're of age, if they choose. And at least they've had the freedom to do that. Do not take that away from them, guys. Please don't take them away. Okay, now hit me hard, guys. I'm okay with controversy. I'm okay with it. But don't take that away from the kids. Later, Gators.